So, today we are going to discuss Intellectual Rubbish by Bertrand Russel. To avoid the various foolish opinions to which mankind are prone, no superhuman genius is required. A few simple rules will keep you not from all error but from silly error. And if the matter is one that can be settled by the observation, make the observation yourself. Aristotle could have avoided the mistakes of thinking that women have fewer teeth than men by the simple device of asking Mrs. Aristotle to keep her mouth open while he counted. He did not do so because he thought he knew, thinking that you know when in fact you don't. It is a fatal mistake to which we are all prone. I believe myself that hedgehogs eat black beetles because I have been told that they do. But if I were writing a book on the habits of hedgehogs, I should not commit myself until been I had seen one enjoying this unappetizing diet. Aristotle, however, was less cautious. So, in one way, that was if you are coming with the preconceived notions that if something is already there in your mind and you have not researched whether the fact is true or not, that is completely wrong. You should not believe on others and rather as a use your intelligence or the knowledge, wisdom, and try to know the reality. So many matters, however, are less easily brought to the test of experience if, like most of mankind, you have passionate conviction on many such matters. There are ways in which you can make yourself aware of your own bias. And if an opinion contrary to your own makes you angry, that is a sign that you are subconsciously aware of having no good reasons for thinking as you do. If someone maintains that 2 and 2 are 5 and that Iceland is on the equator, then you feel pity rather than anger, unless you know so little of arithmetic and geography. That is, opinions shakes your own contrary conviction. The most savage controversies are those about matters as to which there is no good evidence either way. So, whenever you find yourselves getting angry about a difference of opinion, be on your guard. You will probably find on examination that your belief is going beyond what the evidence warrants. It means if someone is telling you that 2 and 2 plus 2 equal to 5, or this Iceland is on the equator. So let's suppose if you know arithmetic or if you know the geography, then obviously you can contradict. No, 2 plus 2 equal to 4, not 5. And it's not possible that Iceland could be at the equator, because at the equator means hot area, right? Because the sun is the nearest to the equator. Sunlight reaching to the equator part is more maximum. A good way of ridding yourself of certain kind of dogmatism is to become aware of opinions held in social circles different from your own. And when I was young, I lived much outside my own country in France, Germany, Italy, and the United States. I found this very profitable in diminishing the intensity of insular prejudice. If you cannot travel, seek out people with whom you disagree and read a newspaper belonging to a party that is not yours. If the people and the newspaper seem mad, perverse, and wicked, remind yourself that you seem so to them. In this opinion, both parties may be right, but they cannot both be wrong. This reflection should generate a certain cautious. So here the author is talking about dogmatism, Dogmatism is something where you believe on someone's belief without any evidence, right? So author is saying that he had been to many countries and he has learned many new things. So becoming aware of foreign customs, however, does not always have a beneficial effect. In the 17th century, when the Manchus conquered China, it was the custom among the Chinese for the women to have a small feet, and among the Manchus for the man to wear pigtails. Instead of each dropping their own foolish custom, they each adopted the foolish custom of the other. And the Chinese continued to wear pigtails until they shook off the dominion of Manchus in the revolution of 1911. So, for those who have enough psychological imagination, it is a good plan to imagine an argument with a person having a different bias. It means biased belief here the author is talking about. So, this has one advantage and only one as compared with actual conversation with the opponents. This one advantage is that the method is not the subject to the same limitation of time and the space. Now, Mahatma Gandhi deployed railways, steamboats, and machinery. He would have liked to undo the whole of the industrial revolutions. You may never have an opportunity of actual meeting in anyone who holds this opinion because in Western countries, most people take the advantage of modern techniques for granted. But if you want to make sure that you are right in agreeing with the prevailing opinion, you will find it out a good plan to test the arguments that occur to you by considering what Gandhiji might have said in refutation of them. I have sometimes been led actually to change my mind as a result of this kind of imaginary dialogue. And short of this, I have frequently found myself growing less dogmatic and cocksure through realizing the possible reasonableness of hypothetical opponent. So see, I have asked even few questions here, like what did Mahatma Gandhi deplore. So at the end of I have asked many questions. So you please try to write down the answers and submit to your teachers. Now, be very wary of opinions that flatter your self-esteem. Both men and women, 9 times out of 10, are firmly convinced of the superior excellence of their own sex. And there is an abundant evidence on both sides. If you are a man, you can point out that most poets and the men of science are male. So if you are a male, you can always point out that men are more brilliant because you can easily give an example that most of them are poets and the scientists. But women, they may also retort and they may also say that, okay, yeah, true, they are more poets and the scientists, but the truth is they are more criminals as well. The question is inherently soluble, but self esteem concedes that from most people, we are all, whatever part of the world we come from, persuaded that our own nation is superior to all others. Seeing that each nation has its merit, merits, and demerits. We adjust our standard of values so as to make out the merits possessed by our nation and are the really important ones, while its demerits are comparatively trivial, right? So you can make sentence using word called prone, convictions, dogmatism, hypothetical. Okay, so that's the end. You please mark it here, and in the next video, I'll try to conclude the rest of the part. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood till now. That is all about intellectual rubbish. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take